Hello everyone, I'm Darren with VibeTheNook.com, and today we're going to take a look at Magic the Gathering Battlemage. And I'm going to be upfront with you on this one. This is probably both the strangest and the worst game that I've reviewed for this channel so far. Magic the Gathering has a very long history of video game and computer game adaptations, and Battlemage here is the first time that the Magic the Gathering license was ever used for a game released on home consoles. Now, if you were a Magic player in the 1990s, and you saw this game sitting on the shelf at Best Buy, your first thought might be something along the lines of, "Oh hey cool, I can just play Magic the Gathering on my PlayStation whenever I'm not able to get my friends together to play the card game." And you'd be wrong, because this is not a Magic the Gathering game. This is a real-time strategy game that's kinda sorta based on Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering Battlemage has two gameplay modes, Dueling and the Campaign. Dueling is a basic 1v1 game of Battlemage's version of Magic the Gathering. Knowing how the card game is played will help you out with these duels, but if you dive right in without reading the manual, you'll just end up being confused and frustrated. That's because there are absolutely no in-game tutorial or instructions. If you want to know how to do something as simple as bring up what cards are in your hand or see what they do, you'll need to read the manual. Just like in real Magic, you start the game with 7 cards in your hand. To cast spells, you first need to play land cards, which gives you access to mana. During a duel, you're able to bring up a brief description of what happens when the spell is cast. However, since things are happening in real time, stopping to read the description of every card can leave you vulnerable. The manual suggests using the artwork as a sort of shorthanded way of knowing what each card does. And that sort of works with summoning creatures, but most other spell types really require you to carefully read the descriptions to get the most out of them. The card descriptions are unchanged from their real-world counterparts, so even though everything is happening in real time and simultaneously, the cards describe things as happening during specific turn phases. As the duel progresses, you'll automatically draw cards at regular intervals. After you cast a spell, your mana will also recharge at regular intervals. It seems like your turn starts when you draw a card and your mana recharges, but it's never really made clear exactly how things that happen in real time relate to what the cards say. The duel begins with 2 players controlling planeswalkers on opposite ends of a large field. The players will need to summon creatures and send them to attack the other planeswalker. The field is often full of hills, trees, and other obstacles that your creatures will navigate around on their way to the other player. After a creature attacks the opposing planeswalker, it will automatically teleport back to the player that summoned it. After attacking, a creature won't be able to do anything for a short period of time. If 2 creatures meet in the middle of the field, they'll fight each other. The power and toughness of your creatures are represented by red and blue bars instead of numbers. If one creature overpowers the other, it will continue on to attack the opposing player. When you tell a creature to attack a planeswalker once, it will continue to do so over and over again until it either dies or until you tell it to do something else. The biggest problem with this game really comes down to the input method. The interface is based around point-and-click commands, with most of the face and shoulder buttons being dedicated to either bringing up menus or seeing what the cards do. Since Magic the Gathering Battlemage has more to do with old-school Warcraft and Age of Empires than it does with actual Magic the Gathering, playing it with a controller just feels clunky, awkward, and in general just not very fun. The PS1 did have a mouse available, but this game doesn't support it. At first, it seems like this game has absolutely nothing to do with Magic the Gathering. However, if you really dive into the mechanics and actually figure out how this game works, the inspiration becomes a little more apparent. It doesn't really take a whole lot of time to see how the developers adapted the card rules into something that happens in real time. It's just a bummer that the overall experience here is not good. In addition to the duels, this game also has a campaign that is just not fun to play. The Battlemage Ravaadal has lured the most powerful planeswalkers to the continent of Corondor on the plane of Dominaria. He has manipulated them all into a massive war with each other as a part of his greater plan to rule the continent himself. When you start a campaign, you choose a planeswalker to control. Then, you're taken to a map screen that sort of looks like a game of Risk. This map screen has a whole bunch of symbols that mean absolutely nothing unless you have the instruction manual. Each planeswalker starts with one territory under their control, and when it's your turn, you can select a territory to attack. When you attack a territory, it won't necessarily trigger a duel between you and another planeswalker. Sometimes you can take a territory automatically, which will give you new cards to use. And sometimes there will be a dialogue sequence and you can talk an NPC into either giving you more cards or joining your cause. Most of the time, attacking a territory does trigger a duel between you and the planeswalker that controls it. If you win this duel, you will gain control of that territory, and if you lose, then nothing happens. When you first start a campaign, you don't have very many cards in your deck, so winning the duels can be difficult until you've collected some more cards. At the end of the day, the campaign is really just a long series of duels that last until somebody controls the entire continent. Our final score for this game is going to be 5 out of 10. There is a PC version that might be better because you can use a keyboard and mouse, but the PS1 version that I played is just not fun. The controls and interface are both clunky and awkward, the graphics are unimpressive for the time, and most importantly, it just doesn't feel like you're playing Magic the Gathering. If you were looking for a way to play Magic without your friends in the 90s, you're best off just taking 2 decks that you have and play it against yourself. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please let us know by giving it a thumbs up and tell us about it in the comment section down below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new here and check out vibethenook.com for more video game related content. And also check out all of our social media pages. I'll leave links to all of that in the description box down below. Thank you again for watching. I hope to see you next time.